What's up, guys? This is John from Heavyset Tactical. Having a little issue with my camera setup right now, so if you see a little bit of wobbling, I'm really sorry, but so it's raining and pouring in central Pennsylvania right now, and I could not get out to do a hard use review video on these knives. I got 3 knives sent to me from Aurora Borealis. I contacted him, told him I was a big fan of his knives, and I was having some trouble finding a couple of them that I really wanted to review. So he graciously sent me 3 of these, and so I'm going to dive right in. So the main knife here that I have been dying to get my hands on was originally the Kodiak. And then I found out, because you guys know I did my review on the Work Tuff Gear Mountain Lion, and I loved it so much because it had the finger choil and I could still do some fine work with it, you know, bushcraft work with it. So I wanted to see if they had one with a finger choil. So long story short, I saw a video online of a K329 OD Green Grizzly. And it's literally the Kodiak with a finger choil, because I think that everybody loved the aspect of the large chopper with a finger choil to be able to do some finer stuff and have a little more control with. So this is the Work Tuff Gear Aurora Borealis designed Grizzly in K329 stainless. First production run. And again, we're going to send our thanks, everybody, out to Aurora Borealis Knives. Thank you so much, Aurora, for sending me these. This is a monster. And the reason I wasn't going to shoot this video indoors today is because I wanted you guys to be able to see the massive but elegant side of this knife. So I am actually, you know, I was able to get my camera to back off a little bit so you guys can see the size of this thing, but I'm really excited for you to see it kind of in comparison to my body size and arm size when I'm actually using it outdoors. And I will be shooting those videos tomorrow, hopefully. But I could not wait to get some info out about these. So real quick specs, it's in K329 steel. They had the Grizzlies in SK85, which was more of a high carbon. And this is in K329, which is a stainless. And it's actually probably one of the best looking grinds on a larger bush knife that I've, you know, survival knife, bush knife, one tool option, chopper like this that I've ever seen. And you know, the price of these, they are dropping on Work Tuff Gear Knives website on June 30th. So just a couple days. So if you guys want one, make sure you hop on there June 30th and get one. They're going to be, I think, $259, which is incredibly, you know, incredibly amazing for this company and Aurora Borealis to design these knives in a way where they're so functional, so comfortable, so usable and accessible, but they are extremely affordable. You know, if this knife, you know, and I jokingly said to him when I got this in my hands today in the mail, and I realized just how well and this fit in my hand and how nice that K329 with these grinds on it is. I said, man, you know, I'd pay significantly more for this knife. So again, this is the Work Tuff Gear Grizzly Aurora Borealis design. It's in Bowler K329, which is a great hard use steel that holds an edge. You guys saw that in my outdoor video with this Mountain Lion in K329. So the overall length is 15.2 inches from end to end. The blade length is 9.9 inches, so just shy of a 10-inch blade. The cutting edge is 8.9 inches, so that 9.9 minus about an inch for the finger choil, which is perfectly cut out and placed. Just like the Puzons, you know, this is just perfect. So the blade thickness is 0.23 inches thick. You know, it's definitely a very thick stock. And I love that little kind of like half thumb ramp on both of these knives, because when you're choked up on it, you can get up above it and do some finer work. But if you're down in a hammer grip, you can really use that ramp to your advantage. So it's 0.23 inches. It's a high saber grind with a convex edge on it, which is extremely well done and beautifully polished. Comes out of the box just like this, well oiled and well finished. So it's a high saber grind with a convex edge, 3D milled G10 handles, OD green G10. The weight is 24.3 ounces in total, and then with the sheath, it's 30.7 ounces. So almost 31 ounces in the sheath. But I gotta say, it's just heavy enough to be an insane chopper, but it has this really elegant, you know, kind of like usable lightness to it. It has these really great cutouts for when you have it flipped over and you're hitting your ferro rod, just like a lot of bushcrafting knives do. Like my LT Wright has those. My Tops Bob Fieldcraft has those, and I've come to really like them. You know, if I'm holding for a pinch grip, if I have it upside down and I'm hitting a choil, if I'm doing a scraping task, it just works on so many levels. And you know, this is the handle profile in my hands. Very, very functional, very holdable. And I heard Scab, old Scabber over at Choir Boys Cutlery, always talks about their handles, their 3D milled G10 handles, and the fit and finish on this, also the recessed lanyard hole, the fit and finish on this knife is just alarming. I mean, it's just so smooth and so usable. Such a high functionality to the knives over at Work Tough Gear, and especially the ones made by Aurora Borealis, that I can really just appreciate on a high level. So again, for $260, you know, probably plus tax, you know, $270, somewhere in there, this is just more than worth its weight. And you know, it has a really great like rear detent there, so you can put that right in between your ring and pinky and do a lot of chopping. But you don't even need to. Like, feeling how much this knife is balanced so well. Let me find the balance. The balance point is right at that T on Work Tough Gear. So yeah, right in between the W and T, or right at the T, right here in front of that choil, which keeps it so functional and usable in your hand. It's quite, you know, it's one of those miraculously made knives that just has that balance where it's so functional and you're able to do a lot more. You know, it's more of a one-tool option. Now, as far as the Kydex sheath, very similar to the Mountain Lion in its shape and profile. It's a taco style. You can lash all kinds of stuff to it. And also, I'll show you later, but with the Lynx, you know, they make it so some of these double holes here will line up and you can latch it there or latch it down here flush with the knife, which I thought was one of the coolest parts of the Lynx. So again, you guys know I always talk about I love the positive click. Sorry about that. There was a fire truck going by. I thought it was pulling in my driveway. So anyway, you guys know I love the positive click. Super, just like all Work Tough Gears Kydex, super comfortable ergos when it comes to the ramp, the thumb ramp for the Kydex. Super bounce, shoots the knife right out. Very functional. I love that positive click. Oh, very, literally, guys, when have you had a chopper that didn't come with like a crap nylon sheath, or came with a Kydex or basic kind of plastic that rattled real bad? You hear that? Not one rattle. Nothing. No sound. This thing is silent. So again, you know, I just can't get over how well their formed Kydex sheaths are. And again, here's a size comparison real quick with the, just in case, you know, when I was going to buy the Mountain Lion, I was not sure if I wanted the Work Tough Gear Mountain Lion or if I wanted the Kodiak, which was the original without the finger choil. So again, this knife drops June 30th, and so go over to Work Tough Gear and make sure you guys get one, and it's in the K329, and this is the Grizzly. Now the Mountain Lion, this is my own personal Mountain Lion that I made the leather backer for, and when I got it, I could not find a picture or video of just these two side by side, the Kodiak and that side by side. So I wanted to make sure that I did. Again, the Kodiak is essentially the same blade length and handle as the Grizzly. So here is a shot of the size comparison between the Work Tough Gear Mountain Lion, which is my own personal knife, and this is the Grizzly that was sent to me. So I wanted to make sure I got a, you know, kind of a size profile. So I'm going to put the Mountain Lion away. And again, these handles and the finger choils are so well rounded and polished that, you know, the angles on them, nothing on this knife is sharp. Nothing on this knife is going to stab you or catch your shirt and rip it. And as always with the Mountain Lion and all of Aurora Borealis's designs from Work Tough Gear knives, all the way down the spine, a hard, sharp 90-degree edge the entire way down. So it's smoothed out a little bit right here on the thumb ramp, but from here, the entire way down. See my fingernail there? Literally the entire way down the knife. So it's such a great bush knife, such a great chopper. You know, I really couldn't be any more pleased with it. So I was going to do a video. Again, I wanted to make sure I did a video inside of showing you guys a little bit of an overview of the 3 knives that I have to show you today. Now, tomorrow is going to be the outdoor. We're going to be batoning and chopping with this thing. We're going to be feather sticking with this thing. I want to show you guys. Sorry about that. Must be a fire in town. I really want to show you guys just how functional these knives are for the size and price, and how well that K329 edge holds up. Because when I tell you that I beat on my Mountain Lion harder than most, and this edge, this convex edge, did not have any microchips, no stops on my fingernail, and no rolls since I got it. The only thing I tuned it up with, again, was a strop. I have not resharpened it once. So again, that was the Grizzly in K329, which drops on June 30th. So next up, we have one of my personal favorites that was another knife Aurora sent me. And this is for the bushcrafters. This is for the, you know, the woodsmen like myself. And they put out this knife this year. This is the Work Tough Gear Forester. This is a blade that I did not know when it was coming. I wasn't sure. I wanted to check out their Scandi. And this is the Work Tough Gear Aurora Borealis designed Forester in K340 steel, which is a very hard use, very functional steel, just like all the other bowlers that they use. You know, when it comes to, this is going to have a little bit better edge retention in my understanding of it. And it's more of a, you know, it's just as functional as the other steels that they use from Bowler, but it's a slightly better edge holding steel for the, you know, for using it with woodwork and bushcrafting. And you know what's really funny about these handles? I'm going to throw some specs out, but what's so funny is this is the most, out of all my you know, my Benchmade Puko, my Luco, my Tarava Yukari Puko, all these knives that I have with super comfortable handles, I'm telling you right now, and I'm going to prove it tomorrow to you, this knife is going to beat out Benchmade's Puko, you know, and half the other Pukos without the big, you know, the form molded Puko handle, rubberized handled Pukos out there, and the Moras and stuff like that. This is definitely a carving and woodsman knife, you know, with this great 90-degree spine. So let me throw some quick specs out. Again, this is the Forester in K340 steel. You can see the markings on the blade there, K340 Aurora Borealis Work Tuff knives, Work Tuff gear, sorry. And then the Forester on the other side. And again, I apologize, my camera's off a little today. So anyway, Forester and K340, the length is 8.7 inches. The blade length is 4.2 inches. The thickness is 0.125, so it's just thick enough to be considered a bushcrafting knife, and you can absolutely baton with this thing and have a lot of success from, you know, it's thin enough with this Scandi to be an excellent carver and feather sticker, but it's got that nice thick, you know, almost like the Tops Bob. It's kind of like that just thin enough profile to be really useful as a carver and woodsworking knife, but it's thick enough to be a hard use, quote unquote, bushcrafting belt knife. So the thickness is 0.125 inches. It's a Scandi grind, and on the website it says it has a micro convex. So it's got this beautiful, and one of the things I'll say about Aurora Borealis's designs, all these knives have the most elegant grinds on them, and they're so shiny and perfectly laid out. You know, this is a satin K340, and it's got this beautiful Scandi grind on it. It is a true Scandi, which, you know, I know everybody loves the Scandi Vexes, but I like regular Scandi grinds, so I usually make my Scandi Vexes into a Scandi grind and flatten them out. This is just an excellently done Scandi, and it has that really nice thicker tip, so you can really baton on this thing and hit it right on the tip, and it's got this great grippy handle for woodsworking and you know, push cuts and cutting any kind of stick that you have in your hand or log that you have in your hand for feather sticking. The knife is so comfortable in hand. It's just ridiculous. I mean, they have some kind of secret with their handle profile that is always my hat's off to them. It's a drop point, and again, it has a nice satin finish. The weight of this knife it's a beautiful balance, because I do not like a super thick woodworking knife, or I'm sorry, a super heavy woodworking knife, but I also don't like it too light. It's got to be that balance. Right around 7 to 8 ounces for me is my favorite, and the weight of this knife is exactly 7 ounces, and the weight with the sheath is 12 ounces. So it's got this beautifully done. Look at the finish on this. You know, all my Bark River sheaths and my danglers from LT Wright, I have to take some time and treat the leather real nice and seal it. You know, these things come just glossy, buffed on the outside, and I gave it the water test with a drop of water, and it does not absorb into it. It beads off. So it's a really well treated leather. You know, this looks like a piece of vegetable tan leather that I had hanging on my hip for a while, with a really well done dangler with the double snaps on it. Nice thick ring, latched in there with a nice double stitched edge. I just, you know, I really can appreciate a well-made sheath, and you know, this is one of those things. It's just, this knife was really well thought out. The sheath was really well thought out, and both were excellently executed. Now, I don't have the price written down for this knife. This is the only one I don't have the price written down for. I believe they were in the 185 range, somewhere in there, but I will have the price. I'll put it on screen or in the description down low when I put a link for all three of these knives from WorkToughGear.com. So again, you know, I saw this knife on their website, and I was so curious because it has that kind of puko look to it with a beautiful Scandi. So you know it's more for the bushcraft guys. And then I saw the leather sheath instead of the Kydex, and I said, dude, I really want to check this out. So graciously, Aurora Borealis sent me this with the other two to check out, and I am just so appreciative to him for doing so, because now I see, and I'm going online, I'm grabbing one of these immediately. This is so comfortable. You know, as a carver, it's just long enough to be functionable with that 4.2-inch satin blade there, and I don't have any more praise to sing for it, because it is just perfectly executed for a small to medium sized belt knife for bushcrafters. Now, the last knife I have to show you guys is in the EDC category, and this is one of my favorites. This is a knife that is going to be latched. This is my mountain line, and this knife is going to be latched right like that on my mountain line. I love this as a companion blade. Comes with a tech lock, one of those really great slim profiled tech locks. This is the Wtg Lynx, Lynx, the Wtg Lynx, designed by Aurora Borealis, and this is in N690. Now, there was a short time on the internet when the phase or the fad was to use N690, and I think that gave somewhat of a bad taste in some people's mouths that didn't use this steel extensively. So I had a Bradford Guardian 3 or a Bradford Guardian 4 in N690, and I was able to use it over a long period of time, and that gave me an appreciation for it, because it's not some cheapy steel. It's not you know, I don't think anybody really has a problem with N690. I wanted to be sure that I said, you know, my thoughts on it, because I know that a lot of places started using N690, and I think that it wasn't looked at as one of the harder used steels, and the edge retention on N690 for me has been excellent. Like, let's be honest, I'm not batoning. I'm not going to use this knife to baton through 3-inch thick, 4-inch thick, you know, American oak logs. This is going to be a companion blade. This is going to be, you know, you can use this thing for like smaller skinning tasks. I mean, the belly on this gives you so many options for a companion knife, in my opinion, and it's the size of the handle. I thought that it was going to be a 3-fingered hold. It's a full 4. You know, I got pretty meaty mitts here, and it's a full 4-finger grab on it. You can also come up top and almost get the length of the blade for skinning or gutting a deer. I mean, it's got a lot of range, as I like to say. This is one of those knives that has a lot of range. You know, he purposely milled out on the handle here so you can use it to scrape ferro rods. It has his very famous sharp 90-degree LT right type edge with a slight burr, but it's nice and soft on the corners right here where your thumb's going to be. Again, nice 4-fingered grip. The milled out areas are just make it a really comfortable hold for me anyway. I think it's great. The sheath that it came with is excellent. Let me throw just some, I forgot the specs here real quick. So again, this is the Wtg Lynx. It's an N690 cryo-treated N690. It's a 58 to 60 HRC. So it's a little bit harder than some of the other N690s I've used at like 56 to 58. This is 58 to 60. So the length of this knife is 7 inches total. 7 inches in overall length. The blade is 3.3 inches, and that gives you the profile of this blade. It gives you about a 3-inch, you know, cutting edge, because there's only that slight gap right here from the handle. So, you know, you have a lot of space. You have for a small knife, you know, a tight 4-fingered grip kind of knife, you have so much cut and cutting power on this knife. I mean, you know, I saw, if you guys want to go check out Aurora Borealis's YouTube page, you know, I saw him feather stick and start a fire with this knife, and it seemed very comfortable. So I'm really excited again to get outside tomorrow and do some harder use video with you guys. again, I was really excited to check these knives out and let you guys see some of the specs and prices and differences and steels and blah, blah, blah. So I really wanted to do kind of a spec video and then a outside use video tomorrow. Man, another fire truck. So this is the Lynx, 7 inches overall, 3.3 inch blade, about a 3.3 or 3.1 inch cutting face here on the edge. It is 0.11 inches thick. So for an EDC knife and for N690, which is pretty hard, that's plenty thick. It definitely has the ability to be a hard use EDC belt knife or a concealed carry in scout carry. I mean, this thing has so many angles. I prefer it as a companion on the sheath. So when I'd probably wear this in a chest rig. I made a belt rig for my belt loop and leather backer for my mountain line because I think it's just small enough to be able to do so. This is a little bigger. I'd probably wear this as a chest rig on the outside of my, or even inside of my jacket, but outside of my jacket with this as a companion blade on it, which is great. And, you know, this is one of those EDC-sized knives that you can just... It's got this awesome thumb ramp, which I love. There was an old Kaiser knife, an old Kaiser fixed blade that had that. And it was one of the only knives that has it, because you can pull for the click in and push out. Got that great positive click. You know, that's one thing I have to say again. All Work Tough Gear knives have the nicest formed Kydex sheaths. Nobody can say otherwise. These guys are doing things right. So it is 3.5 ounces in total weight, 3.5 ounces. And then with the sheath, I think it's 4.9, I believe, in total. So anyway, you know, it's a saber grind. All Aurora Borealis's high saber grinds are executed so well, and they're so functional. They have such great slice. They're good for batoning. You know, they have a lot of power, but they're, you know, with that thinner profile down to the edge, it's thick enough to have a strong edge, but it's so slicey, man. All his knives are so well done. And you guys know, you know, I'm not into the politics of the knife game, and I would not be saying this if I didn't use it. I mean, I've been carrying a Work Tough Gear knife every day that I've been outside. You know, I don't think this knife has left my kitchen or my coffee table when I'm inside, and my belt when I'm outside. So I definitely stand behind what I say about their knives. So let me lay them all three out one more time. Oh my god, look at that thing. This thing is a monster. And again, guys, I have a new setup for filming and everything, and it's just taking a little tweaking, so I will have a lot better of a layout for you guys, you know, coming soon. So these are the 3 sent to me by Aurora Borealis. Again, guys, you know, he deserves your respect if you're not buying knives from him. This guy is great. I reached out to him, told him that I've been enjoying this YouTube channel and it's been growing thanks to you guys watching my videos. So I really wanted to get you know, some stuff from him to show you guys and show him my appreciation. So again, go check out his page, buy his knives. They are definitely worth it, in my opinion, in every way. And there is not a knife that is this caliber. Talk about punching above your weight class. There is not a knife in this caliber for these prices. The Lynx, literally I saw it on their website, and a lot of Work Tough Gear knives are hard to find when they're not on just their website. But DLT Trading does have them, so I'll put a link in the description on DLT too. But these, dude, these are $100. They're like literally $109, I think, after taxes. And that is such a nice companion or EDC blade or scout carry concealed inside the belt carry with a tech, you know, an ulti clip even, or on the belt with a tech lock that it comes with. There's just so much functionality here for the price. So you guys know, I appreciate you guys watching my videos very much. And like always, guys, thank you to Aurora Borealis so much for letting me view these knives. And as always, guys, have a good week, stay safe, and always stay heavy.